We have this big story that's breaking today about a crime that must be addressed. Breaking. Jamal Bowman to plead guilty to pulling firearm in Capitol in exchange for charges dropped. $1,000 fine in sweetheart deal. We got him.
There he is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The insurrectionist has been apprehended.
I mean, this was 9/11 all over again.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
when he it was
worse. It was almost as bad as January 6th.
They're not going to give you that sweetheart deal if you go and
You mean
pull one of
January
those
6th was
firearms.
almost as bad as this?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, because nobody pulled a fire alarm on January 6th
nobody did anything.
That's horrific.
But they
Jamal-
were saying that September 11th was not as bad as January 6th. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's still people.
I was making
There's
that
still
joke.
people that say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their argument is they were subverting democracy.
There's people that believe.
Well, Jamal
by
Bowman
staying
did.
within the velvet ropes.
Well, right, this is it. Jamal Bowman says, I am responsible for activating a fire alarm. I will be paying the fine issued. Yeah, okay. Is it his first offense? Because I think that's fair. I
Is
do.
it?
Absolutely.
Is it his first offense?
I don't know, Tim. Soft on crime. I don't know about that.
Let's face it. What he did is literally an offense against democracy.
It actually is.
Yeah.
He was trying to stall the
He was
vote.
trying to prevent a vote from taking
Subverting
place in
democracy.
Congress.
Yeah.
And it's been treated like a misdemeanor false alarm.
You'd think he was just trespassing in the Capitol.
That would be...
I remember I would after January 6th, I would send people pictures of like what happened with Kavanaugh with people inside.
And people would be like, oh, that didn't happen.
No, I'd say like, yes, like when this happened, they're like, yes, look how awful that is. I'm like, yes, look how awful that is.
Yeah. You remember when Amy Schumer like occupied the Supreme Court and got arrested? Remember when Jane Fonda every Friday decided to get arrested outside the Capitol for climate change?
The
And
point
she would
is-
like
yeah.
fly her jet in from LA so she could sit on the steps of Congress and get arrested. What a fool these people are. But they don't care about the contradictions.
Nope.
I mean, that's the thing about Democrats is they just don't seem to be either
No, they love it.
aware of the contradictions or they just don't care.
They're aware. No, I used to fall into that camp. Like if you look at I always reference the Instagram account Defiant L's, which always posts the people who contradict themselves. Oftentimes, just like a day later, I used to be like, look, maybe these people are just dumb. They're not dumb. They're evil.
Right.
They do not care because look. What they said first reached a certain amount of people. When they post that second thing that contradicts what they said completely, that reaches a whole nother demographic of people. Maybe 20% of those people see the contradiction, but they're so ideologically captured anyways, it doesn't matter. Maybe you change, maybe 5% of those people see it and say, wow, I don't know if I fall in line with that. That seems like a contradiction, but they don't care.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. It's like, what is it? It's like hierarchy, not hypocrisy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, if
I never
you're
heard that
if you're
before.
hierarchy, not hypocrisy.
What does that mean?
It means that the people who are committing these hypocrisies, they are sort of blatantly doing it to show you that they're above it, that it doesn't matter that
Truth
they're
is
being
malleable.
hypocritical, that truth is
malleable,
malleable, that
and
reality is as they see it, not how you see it.
And power is
and
all
that
that
there
matters.
doesn't need to, I mean, and it's like there doesn't need to be a value system if you just, it's just this constant shifting ideological sand, and it doesn't matter where you stand. You can't build anything on it. So they just
goalposts
come
are
up
moving
with,
anyways.
what's that?
So the goalposts are moving anyways.
Yeah, the goalposts are moving anyway. So it's like, oh, I scored. Well, the goalposts are over there. Not anymore.
And I've even
now they're
heard,
here.
I've even heard more insane rationalizations that say, look, if they were to make those contradictions in their personal life with friends and family, that would be bad. But in the service of political agenda, it's okay.
Because it's
the
in
noble
service
good.
to maintaining power.
Exactly.
And the
Right,
only
yep.
thing that matters is maintaining power.
And and if that's not the definition of evil, I don't know what that's evil.
Well, there's a lot of things that I think we could define as evil, but for sure that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and the evil of the crowds who get together and commit mass violence just because they think it's fun or just because they're spurred on. I remember when I was a kid and there would be always there were always these stories about people being trampled in India, and it would be like, or in Saudi Arabia or like at Mecca or something, and it would always be just like, somebody sneezed and the crowd went wild and 200 people got trampled to death. Well, and I always wondered, how does this happen? How do you all just start bugging out like that?
And think about that now in cities like New York City, where there's so many people congregated in such small space. Like that's just to me what it is. Like we've built these cities up so high now that it's like, yes, a large majority of those people may be able to withstand the idea of falling victim to crowd mentality, right? But you're putting yourself at risk every day by being around it.
Well, the thing about New York and crowd mentality is there's ways that you behave within the crowd of New York City that you would never behave somewhere else. Like, you know, where I live now, people say hi to each other.
Yeah.
And in New York, if you said hi to everybody you passed, you'd never get where you were going. You know, you never make eye contact with anybody, which is still something that I do. It's like, I'm never going to make eye contact with strangers because what if they're crazy and then I'm in their line of sight and the next thing you know, you're a target of the crazy person just because you looked at them.
Or they're trying
Which
to
happens.
fundraise for a nonprofit, and as soon as you lock
God.
eyes, they got
That's
you.
terrible.
And like, look, and not just like if you come from a small town and you go to New York City and you do greet someone, they don't say hello, they say, who's this?
Right. Like, why are you talking to me? Go away.
You have to get used to the different social setting.
One of the
social
things that I
norms.
always found so interesting about New York is how people's private lives unfold in public. You know, you'll see somebody just in tears on the subway.
People just walk by.
And like, no, and like there have been times when I've been literally like sobbing on the subway and an old woman will hand me a tissue and be like, are you okay?
So we have some breaking updates. CNN is now reporting 16 people have died in Lewiston, Maine,
Jesus.
with 50 to 60 injuries.
Wow.
They're investigating multiple active shooter events. A suspect remains at large. We are encouraging all businesses to lock down or close while we investigate. Maine State Police also said they're responding to an active shooter situation on Facebook. Please lock your doors. So the concern is it looks like it's multiple areas.
Yeah.
This could be one person who's moved to different areas, but some people are concerned it's more than one person.
According, like from what I've read in the chat, at least I know the report said there was Middle Eastern men. A lot of the chat said,
But I don't know if that's-
Somali. Yeah.
I no. There's a photo that was released that could be a person of Middle Eastern descent.
Right. Yeah.
I encourage people to look for these official news sources and then
Just wait till the information
make a
comes
determination
out.
for yourself. Don't make assumptions about what you think a person looks like. Look at the actual photo. But I'm concerned that there are fake accounts spreading this specifically to fan the flames of a conflict. So
Right. Yeah.
That could be it.
right. So watch out for that.
Yep.
Hannah Nightingale, who's working on this story right now at Post Millennial, is from Maine. And
Wow.
she's saying, well, she's normally not on this late, but if it's a Maine thing, she'll come check it out. But
I was just there.
yeah, she said that there's never been a mass shooting like this in Maine before.
There's
ever.
not a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest city in Maine is what, like 40,000 people or
Yeah,
something?
it's little. It's a little. I mean, it's a big state with not that many people in it, as you just said.
Yep.
That's the whole thing.
Well, I don't know, man.
If you're in Maine,
Because right. But if Maine isn't safe,
Yeah.
This is
but what are the
depressing.
gun
Well,
laws
that's why
in
we're
Maine?
in West Virginia, right?
West Virginia has its issues too, but at least in West Virginia you can have guns.
Right? Can you have guns? The Maine passed a reckless, permitless carry law, says Giffords. I'm just reading
Reckless?
it. That's what
Permitless
Gifford
carry?
says. Yeah, that's why I pointed out initially that I'm reading this from the internet. Permitless carry law 2015 that allows residents to carry concealed without a permit or background check.
That's 2A.
So, and in 2021, Maine had the 14th lowest gun death rate.
Wow.
Interesting.
So that's actually pretty interesting. What's Giffords? I don't even know
That's
what that is.
Gabby Giffords.
Oh, that's Gabby Giffords. Oh, right, because she was shot in the head. So, she's worried about gun laws. Makes sense once you're shot in the head, but
Well, she's
Freedom is
not.
still
I think
freedom.
she's evil.
Yeah,
Because
I
she
mean-
has armed security guards and gets government protection and then tries to deny it for everyone else.
right. So she has guns. They're just being held by other people.
What she's actually saying is only we may have cake.
Right,
the-
hierarchy, not hypocrisy.
Do the people who protect California politicians have to adhere to California gun laws as
Nope.
far as like magazine size?
Usually they this is how it works, right? So like in Venezuela during the protests, if you're on the side of the government, you're getting a full belly every night. And that's why they do it. Everyone else is starving and they tell you want to be starving with them and protesting, go ahead and do it. You want a full belly, you take the gun, you stop them from protesting. That when you like these people who protect politicians have restrictions. Often they have to they're allowed to carry their gun only while they're on duty.
But no 10-round mags.
They're allowed to have a gun at their house or something like that in a lot of states that make it very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and they probably get special benefits like that for sure. Yeah, Illinois, which was always super restrictive. But if you're protecting the politicians, you're good.
Then you're all right to do it.
Yeah, if you're a cop, you're good. If you're part of the machine and protecting the people in power, you're good. Everyone else,
It's all about power. It's always all about just maintaining power.
Of course.
Well,
yeah, for whatever reason.
for whatever reason.
I mean, I just don't understand
I
the
wouldn't
motivations
want
of
that
these
kind of
people.
power.
It's amazing how it just always kind of plots out that way. Yep. And yet
But not everybody has this this mental state.
Ambition, drive.
No, that's not absolutely not it. Like
I have plenty of ambition, but I'm not interested in maintaining power.
Yeah, I mean,
ambition doesn't mean killing people for personal gain or causing mass suffering.
no. That's I mean.
Yeah, there are people out there that are just, they revel in causing suffering of others.
Yeah, totally.
Hence why there's probably a mass shooting right now.
That's
People are evil.
That's another evil thing. Wanting to cause harm, wanting to hurt people.
Like pulling a fire alarm to stop Congress.
Right. That's horrifying.
Evil.
How does he live with himself?
I think he does just fine.
So they're gonna drop the charges. I think he should go to jail.
I think he should definitely go to
He should
jail.
get community service and have to serve it with Jenna Ellis together. That's what they should do.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.